If it's about love, if it's about justice is waking.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Austin Haynes with the Waking Justice Project, and this is your daily wake-up call. Here's what the corporatocracy is up to today, October 25th, 2019. You can visit our website at wakingjustice.org for more details. Here are the headlines. Welcome to Freak Out Friday, where today we'll spotlight leading-edge indie journo Jimmy Dore. Jimmy is best known for his daily YouTube program, The Jimmy Dore Show. We'll get into Jimmy's work in a moment, but first, here's a quick bio. Jimmy was born in Chicago into a big Irish and Polish Catholic family with 11 siblings. He went to Catholic school for 12 years and says when people ask why he's not a practicing Catholic, he tells them it's because he went to Catholic school for 12 years. He graduated from Columbia College, Chicago with a degree in marketing communications and started performing stand-up in 1989. By 2006, he was perfecting his stand-up routine called Pop and Politics, where he'd play clips of bloopers by politicians on the news. Pop and Politics led to Citizen Jimmy on Comedy Central, then the Aggressive Progressives on the Young Turks, which then led to the Jimmy Dore Show. During the 2016 election, when WikiLeaks exposed the corruption among the Hillary campaign, the DNC, and BigMedia, Jimmy sharpened his criticism of corporate news outlets like CNN and MSNBC. In response, CNN has tried to smear the Jimmy Dore Show, calling it, quote, a far-left YouTube channel that peddles conspiracy theories, such as the idea that Syrian chemical weapons attacks are hoaxes, or what Jimmy calls false flag events. A false flag event is when a secretive agency, like say the CIA, pays off some mercenaries or lackeys to stage a terror event, like say a chemical weapons attack by Syria, so corporate media outlets like CNN can help the CIA persuade Americans that the US should go to war against Syria. When CNN smeared Jimmy about his critique of the false flag reporting on Syria, they left out some important facts. For example, Pulitzer Prize winning journalist Seymour Hersh actually agreed with Jimmy. Hersh says intelligence officials knew that Syria did not conduct a chemical weapons attack. And more generally, US officials have been caught on leaked video talking about such false flag attacks, like this IMF and World Bank official talking about how to provoke Iran into war. Check this out.
But I would just like to suggest that one can combine other means of pressure with sanctions. I mentioned that explosion on August 17th. We could step up the pressure. I mean, look, people, Iranian submarines periodically go down. Someday one of them might not come up. Who would know why? We can do a variety of things if we wish to increase the pressure. I'm not advocating that, but I'm just suggesting that this is not a either-or proposition of, it's just sanctions has to succeed or other things. We are in the game of using covert means against the Iranians. We could get nastier at that.
That was Patrick Clausen, chief economist for the IMF and World Bank. You can watch the whole 5-minute video and hear Clausen talk about how often the US has used false flag events to get us into war. It's stunning. Of course, Jimmy is right about false flags, and he's right about CNN. When Matt Taibbi of Rolling Stone wrote about, quote, how the press sold the Iraq war, Matt wrote that, quote, CNN flooded the airwaves with generals and ex-Pentagon stoolies to help promote the Iraq war back in 2002. In fact, you can still see multiple references on Google where CNN promoted the false flag that Saddam in Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, but where Google has since scrubbed the content from their website. And ironically, one of the cases that CNN made when helping the CIA sell war in Iraq was that, quote, Iraq has tons of chemical weapons. Again, CNN scrubbed that article from the website too. But do you think in their original article that CNN mentioned that it was actually US President Reagan who originally gave Saddam those chemical weapons? Of course not. As indie journo Katie Halper of The Useful Idiots points out, Jimmy's main focus is on corporate media bias and, quote, false equivalency. That's where the corporate media intentionally connects unrelated events to make fake news that supports the goals of the corporatocracy. That's the theme of my show, Jimmy says, to point out the fact that the news that people are watching, like MSNBC and CNN, are funded by the very people they're supposed to be investigating. It's why we're in 8 wars that nobody gives a shit about. Why 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Why 50% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. And why 30 million Americans don't have health insurance. And the people who bring us the news are all owned by the people who want to keep that status quo. I'm just a jag-off comedian, Jimmy says. Why am I covering the things that the rest of the media gets wrong? Katie says Jimmy comes across as angry, but she thinks he's angry because he actually likes people. She says his shows are actually very moving, and at the end of the show, he leads the audience in a chant. Wars are bullshit. Wars are bullshit. We agree with Jimmy. Wars are bullshit. If you want to try to catch one of his shows, Jimmy goes on tour often. You can check out his tour schedule at jimmydorcomedy.com. And that's Dore, as in D-O-R-E. Jimmy's a true indie journo. He's viewer supported. So if you're able, please throw him a few bucks at patreon.com/JimmyDore and help him help us all fight the power. Thanks for listening in today. If you want to learn more about how all of us in the work of global justice can join together to end all of this injustice and corruption and to save our planet, please visit our website at wakingjustice.org. You can check out our About page and listen to our first podcast. And if you want to get involved, please fill out the contact form at the top right of the page. Or you can email us at info@wakingjustice.org. We'd love to hear from you. We're running out of time. Join us. Peace.
You must be involved in the struggle for freedom and justice.
If it's about love, if it's about justice is waking, justice is rising. Justice is waking, justice is rising. If it's about love, justice is rising. And it ain't just us, it's all of us. Justice is waking, justice is rising. And it ain't just us, it's all of us. If it's about love, may every soul unite. Tend the fire and let all coals relight. I'm a citizen of the world and we fight for the rights of everybody to live a truly free life. Red or yellow, black or white, left or right, gay or straight, human or animal, all life. Cause what matters is what is in common. If you know it, stand tall and keep dropping the knowledge. Justice is waking, justice is rising, and it ain't just us, it's all of us. If it's about love.